Well, I think this game's gonna age very poorly. This is Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. It's a game that I picked up because I wanted to see how it played compared to the first one released back in 2017 on the original Switch. I'm just gonna give it kind of an overlook here. It was pretty cool looking, just like the first game. It had cool mech combat, guns and swords and stuff. And I kind of wanted to pick it up because it also advertised that it had the full ROM on the cartridge, which I found to be an impressive thing, especially in this day and age where we're getting pushed more and more towards buying digital. Next up, we have the Daemon X Machina original game. Uh, I picked this one up back in 2017 when the Switch one released because it was just a cool concept of the game. Anime, mechs, it kind of had the whole package. You could kind of see that here on the on the package. It plays a lot like a dubbed down Armored Core, and I think you'd get a lot more interest out of a game like Monster Hunter instead of this one, because this one definitely leans more into the multiplayer aspect of online, getting on with your buddies, shooting at the big mechs that you come across. The areas are kind of larger and more more into it kind of missions where you go around, you collect things, and pretty much make your guy, your little mech, into something that works for you during the gameplay. So you get into it, you fight things. It's just kind of a nothing game that I think I would personally give like a 6 out of 10. When I beat it, it was underwhelming. But I wanted to give the new one a try because it seems like they were doing something a little bit more fresh and original. And that intrigued me. So let's get into the unboxing. Now, when I'm going to unbox this, I can feel that the package is a little bit heavier than I anticipated. I'm recording this audio after the fact, so there's no ASMR package unboxing. But I was really struggling here with this one. I couldn't get the damn package open to save my life, so you're going to see me struggling here for a little bit. But when I opened it up, I was pleasantly surprised. There was a full manual. You don't see this a lot in games. A player's guide is a rarity, and especially on a Switch game, I think the only time I ever seen a manual that was even remotely this thick in the Switch game was, I think some of the limited run games have a similar setup where they just kind of give you a manual. But I think that's what they were going for with this release. They were trying to give you a full experience. Like they were trying to give you the full game ROM, the full manual, like it's a PS2 game, backstories, stuff like that. I didn't see a lot about, actual gameplay, like button presses, what the buttons do. That would be cool to see. I know that like an old PlayStation guide or a PS2 guide that comes with the game would show you exactly what everything does and then give you a little redirects and different kind of explanations of the system. So it's cool to see this. Like there's a little bit of artwork, but they have very limited space to work with here, and I think they're trying to get as much information down as possible while doing this. But it's cool to see that they really went for the physical aspect here. Like even down to like showing you some world map stuff, showing you how the game's set up. There's some cool artwork with the anatomy, the ant, how the mech's set up here, and yeah, it's kind of just a cool little guide. I think I mentioned something here in the middle of it because it's cool to see things like this. It's just I think I'm in awe this whole time because I just you don't see guides like this when you buy a video game. The game is $70, so it is kind of it's kind of an ask to buy it at that price. I think if you wait and let this thing go down to like 40, you're probably gonna get a better value for your purchase, especially because the whole game is on the cart. Like the full ROM is on there. I think when I plugged it in to my Switch 2, it only had to update for, I want to say, a minute with whatever the initial update was, and it wasn't that big. I think it was only a couple megabytes of information. But I think this is more of an online game, so it's weird that they gave you this one out of all the games just immediately on the cart. Here I'm just saying Toby was cool. That's the guy who like wrote the guide. It's kind of a meme for it. Then we get in here, showing you off the artwork on the back of the box there. You can see it through the red. Then we get to the cartridge. This is the main guy in the show here. Full game on here. I assume it uses all 64 gigs of the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges. I know it's always an issue with getting these things on a cartridge that's this small, but technology is advancing, and I think a lot of the studios should advance as well. We'll kind of go over that in the next part, where we go over what game key cards and preservation looks like on the Switch 2. All right. Now we're on to probably everybody's least favorite part of the video. It's gonna be me bitching about the game key cards. Daemon X Machina and the original Daemon X Machina OG on Switch 1, both are full game on cartridge, even though they have online aspects to them. And here I just bring up Bravely Default. It's the only game key card that I think I'm ever going to own. Game key card is kind of just like a useless thing, because I remember on like the PS4 and a little bit on like the Xbox, you would buy these games that are physical like discs, and you plug them in and try to download, and the download would take forever, and you wouldn't be able to get like right into the game. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion, the new game that I got here, I plugged that guy right in, it immediately worked. Whereas Bravely Default had to download a 5 gigabyte update. And if you think about games nowadays, they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and then there's not going to be any way you could just plug in one and just have something immediately work. I think that's what I'm mostly saying here. It is cool that we have, games that Nintendo have been releasing that kind of give you the full package. I just don't think game key cards are the way. Like, even for these smaller ones, you could just put them on a Switch 1 cartridge and then give the person a free upgrade. They did that with Hollow Knight when I bought it digitally, and they've been doing it with a couple of other older Switch games. Here I'm just showing Donkey Kong Bonanza because it's another game that's fully on the cartridge, and it's a good game. It's a really fun experience that I think, fun and full experience that you could get fully on a cartridge and then really give people their full money's worth so they could actually own an experience. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you try to play one of these game key cards, you're just not going to get the full experience, man. Like, if you had no internet and you plug that Bravely Default cartridge in, you're pretty much screwed. You're not going to have the game unless you have an internet connection. And if you're on like a 5G or in a rural area where there's not a lot of good internet coverage, you're not going to get it. And that sucks. Yeah, pretty much just me holding up things, bitching here. That if we really want to make a stand on this, we probably just need to buy more games that are like full ROM on cartridge. And I think that's the reason I bought this Daemon X Machina game. It's not that the other game was, a shining example of what games could be, but I think it's cool that the emphasis for the Switch 2 copy of Daemon X Machina is more so, hey man, we're giving you the full ROM, we're giving you everything on cartridge with a book, and that's dope. Bravely Default was more about, hey, I'm just gonna get this out for the cheapest possible at launch. But yep, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you like the video. Comment, like, subscribe, and let me know if you have any other feelings about Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. Alright, bye-bye.